So you've always wanted to know how to build an N-scale signal? Well, here is part 2 of my series. Hey, Peter from Rochelle Intermodal again, and welcome to the second section of part 2 of my series on building an N-scale signal by Showcase Miniatures. So in this section I'm going to install the LED and finish putting the rest of the parts on the model, so the signal base, and then I will start painting it. So let's get started. So as I showed you in my first video, these are the LEDs I'm using, again from Showcase Miniatures, and I'm just going to take these out of the packet. Now I've ordered quite a lot of them, so I think they supply them individually as well, but I've ordered quite a lot, and you can just see the size of them, and they are really tiny. Pretty good examples to show you against a pencil tip. Now that is a tiny LED, and it's 3 color and pure colors, so they're not mixing green and red to get amber. It is actually an amber color, so you've got pure green, pure red and pure amber. It's amazing what they can do in such a small size now. So now I'm going to separate these out and prepare the end of the wire ready to go through the mast, and this is the tricky bit. So here we go. I've removed one from that bunch. As you can see, they're very generous with the lengths. So if I go right to the LED itself, right at the tip here, there's the LED. You can see the length of wire they give you. So this is great when you thread it through the hole in the layout. It gives you a long length to work with. Just makes it easier to attach it to your signaling system without having to join too many wires together, so it gives you a nice long length. Now what you want to do is make sure that it is as straight as possible, that there are no kinks in this wire. So just run very slowly, just smoothing out all these wires right down to the bottom. There's a slight kink over there, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to gently just twist it, and you can see there it's pretty much smoothed out. I can carry on going down, making sure I smooth out every kink I can find until we get to the end. So I'm now going to twist these gently together, and then I'll show you how to thread it through the hole in the pole. So now you can see I've gently twisted them together, and it just going to make it a lot easier to thread it through. So now comes the hard part. I've managed to get the wires through. Now you've got to go very slowly. The reason I just didn't show that is because it could take quite a long time to get it all right, but you've got to go very slowly, thread it through very slowly. You can see there are wires the other side. Right, now I'm going to thread the LED all the way down, so I'm going to grab the wires from the bottom and just gently pull the wire through. Slowly pull it through here. And until we get the LED just behind the signal head. Okay, so you can see there's the LED just behind the signal head. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to see if we can fit the LED into the signal head. Just make sure we got it facing the right way. So the front of the LED is on the other side of where the wires are. You see there, the wires go through the back of the LED, and we want that bit to go into the signal head. Okay, so I'm just going to put the signal base on now. Just a note about the LED. I've just pushed it into the back there for now, but once I've tested it, made sure I'm happy with the way it works and everything, I will then put a dab of white glue, put PVA glue into that gap. That sort of seals it up, prevents it from falling out, and it's also easily removable just by soaking it in well, not soaking in water, but just by wetting it, and you can actually remove the LED if you need to. But it also prevents light leak through there. I say you can put the back of it on. I sometimes do that. I might eventually do it for this one, but it has got a back that goes over and seals it. And then you can seal any openings again with the PVA glue. So just like we did with the initial part of putting the LED in, I'm just going to twist the ends ever so slightly just to make it easier to put this in. Actually, I'll just twist it this way, and then I'll thread this through. So here's the signal base, and you see the hole is tiny, so I'm just going to just gently put these through. I might need to use a magnifier again. Normally makes it a bit easier. So you see there's one through. It's not that easy to see what you're doing here, but you've got to have a lot of patience for this. Okay, and there we go. Alright, so that was a bit easier, which is good. Okay, so you just thread it all the way through and put it up to the base of the signal. Over there. And now push that onto the base of the signal. A slight twisting motion just to make sure it goes on properly. Be careful of the wires. And then once you've got it in place, you can then put a dab of glue just to make sure it's held in place. Now that the base has been put on, I've just put a dab of glue and just waiting for that to dry. Now all that's left now is just to put the target and the target bracket on the signal head, and just the nameplate for the signal. So I will show you how to do that. So if we take that there, you can see that over there is the bracket for the target. So we're going to put a dab of glue on the hood of the base of the hood of the signal head, and we'll slide that bracket onto there. So just a dab of glue. Now I'm just going to very gently put this over the target. Put this over the signal head. And just make sure it is in place. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. That is the bracket for signal target. There's just one bit I've just got to straighten that little bracket there, but apart from that it's all in place, ready for the target to go on. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on these bits. I'm using the gel, just gives you a bit more time to work with it. I'm just going to take the target, which is that, and slide it over the hood of the signal and attach it to the end bracket. So that just goes over the hood like that. You have to twist it slightly to get it on. So you just have to twist it slightly, twist and push very gently, and it'll eventually work its way over the hood to make sure it goes all the way to the back and then attaches against the bracket. It's almost in place. Okay, I think that's about the right place for it. There we go. Okay, so I'll show you what it looks like from the side, then from the front. So that's fitting quite nicely on there. So now I'm going to glue that in place, and then the last thing to do is just the number plate, and then it's all ready for painting. The last bit we've got to do is a very tiny number board. You can see over there. You'll see over there. There is the bracket. So just put a dab of glue on that and then attach the nameplate. So now comes the tricky bit. Okay, so there is the nameplate. It'll eventually have a number on it if you do want to put numbers on. I usually just paint mine white for now. I might eventually put some decals on there with the numbers. So just let that dry a bit. As you can see, it's turned out really nice. It looks really good, perfectly in scale as well. And yeah, Showcase Miniatures have done a great job with these signals. And if I show you the base as well, the base is nicely detailed. It's got the heads of the bolts on there, and yeah, very happy with it. So all that's left is just to paint it, and then what we'll do in the next installment is connect it up to the layout, and we can see it actually working. So the colours I like to use are the flat aluminium. I've still got these old polyscale paints. You can use whichever paints you want, but I've got these left over, so I'm just using them now. But I like using the flat aluminium, and then this one is also polyscale steam power black, which is a bit of a almost like a flat black. It's like the colour of that. So on the signal, I paint the base concrete, then all of this up here, the pole, the base of the signal, the top part of the base, the junction box, and the back of the signal head and the ladder, I paint all of that flat aluminium. So silver or flat aluminium, whichever one you use. And then the number plates I paint white, so that just it makes the numbers show up quite nice if you have a white background. And then the target and the hood of the signal I paint black, just so that it is a really nice contrast when the LEDs are on. It really makes the colours pop out and make them really visible. So let me just do the top first. I'm going to do the black first, and I'll let that dry. And just be careful when you do this, make sure you don't get it on the LED itself. You don't want to have any black colour on that. Just going to go really steady, and then on the top of the hood as well. So as you can see, It's made it stand out quite a little bit now. And I like to put on 2 coats just to make sure it gets a full covering of paint. So I'll just let that dry a little bit more and I'll put another layer on. In the meantime, I'll just do the back of the signal head. On the back of the target I also paint silver. It's only the front that's black. I'm just going to do another coat of the black to make sure it's covered completely. Okay, so that is the target done, and the hood, and the back of the signal I painted silver, aluminium as well. So now I'll just go on and paint the rest of the signal. So there's the finished signal. I've painted it silver or aluminium and painted the hood and the target black. I still need to do the concrete base and the white of the nameplate, but apart from that it's all completed. So that wasn't that hard. It doesn't take that long, so the more you do it, the faster you become with it, the easier it'll be. There's some tricky bits with it, with the LED and the small little fiddly bits, but just with a bit of patience, just go slowly and you'll manage to be able to do it. So now the next step is to test the LED and install the resistors and then install it on the layout. Right, so that wasn't that hard. It doesn't take that long in total to get it all finished, so you can get through quite a few of these signals in one work session. So part 3 will be coming up very soon. This will be on showing you how to add the resistors onto the wires and then actual installation of the signal. If you enjoyed this series so far and enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, please subscribe down below and click on that little bell icon to get a notification of when I upload my next video. Now my next one will be coming up very soon, so please keep an eye out for it. In the meantime, happy modelling and we'll see you very soon.